What's good, everybody? Bringing you another video. This time, we're going to do Nice Kicks has released their winners for the 14 categories of the sneakers of the year. Didn't even realize this is their third annual. This is their third time doing it. So remember, I gave you my picks, and we're going to go over their picks and compare notes. How's everybody doing on this cold, frigid Thursday? Let me just pull up these notes, and then let me pull up the actual just give me a second. I'm looking for my all right, here we go. Okay. First category was Sneaker of the Year, New Model. And the picks were Adidas Pharrell, Virginia Jellyfish, Converse Shea 001, Nike Ja 3, the Nike GT Future, the Nike Pegasus Premium, and the Adidas Addy Zero. And it wasn't even close. Pharrell took that one. Wasn't even close. And what was this? Yeah, New Model. My pick, I had, like when I did them, I said I was going to do everything from like 1 to 4 picks just based upon how I was feeling. But for this one, I actually just picked Jellyfish. So congrats to Pharrell for that one. Number 2, Sneaker of the Year, Basketball. Let me see what's going on. Okay, cool. The selections for the basketball was Reebok Angel Reese, Asia with her Asia 1, the AE 2, the Harden 9, the Ja 3, and the Converse Shea. And the winner was Converse Shea. And I had actually picked 2. I actually had picked Anthony the AE2, and then Shea, because I just thought like he was going to roll over from what he was doing last year with the AE1, but they gave it to Shea. Good deal. Not a bad selection. Sneaker of the Year, Women's Model. I'm just looking. Okay, cool. And the selections for this one, they had the Puma ballet shoe, they had the Adidas Taekwondo ballet, they had Angel Reese, they had Sabrina, the third one, they had the Nike Air Muse, and of course they had the Nike the Asia Wilson one. It wasn't even close. It was a landslide. It went to Asia. Me personally, I picked Asia and Angel. Angel came in 4th with hers. The A1 received 256 votes altogether total, and second place was 100. It was a landslide. Okay, the next one is Sneaker of the Year, Women's Release. The selections were, you had the Sarkovsky Low Women's Stealth, you had the Nike Air Max 95, the pink foam, you had the Saucony Daughter of, what is that? Daughter of the Moon, you had the Asia one, the pink Aura, and then you also had the Nike Moon shoe. And of course, Asia won again in a landslide. I picked Asia. She had 212 first 212 total points, and the Soty came in second with 107. So congratulations to her. That was her second one. Next category was Sneaker of the Year Independent Brand. I already know who I picked. The contestants or the brand going for that was John Geiger, Skylark, Sponge, Mache, 741 Performance, and Somewhere in America Collective. I had chose 741 and Somewhere in America. Maybe I was just repping for the brothers, being a little bit biased, I'll admit it. But by a landslide, it went to John Geiger. John Geiger is somebody that has been in the game for a long, long time. If you recall, him and Nike have always been going at it because they've been coming at him about trademarking and copyrights, et cetera, et cetera. Skylark, I believe, is Justin Bieber's, and the Sponge category is the brother who did the work with New Balance and Salehi, yeah. Mosh, I never really heard of. 741 is what's the name, from Boston, and Somewhere in America Collective is a dude from Sacramento. So shout out to them brothers and shout out to John Geiger. Okay, next selection or next category, we're on number 6. There was 14 total. Sneaker of the Year collaboration. Let me just see who I picked. Okay. The selections were Undefeated Air Jordan 4, the Awake New York Air Jordan 5, the Infinite Archives Air Jordan 17, the Adidas Unheard Of Addy Star Custom 3, the Piggy. You had Joe Fresh Goods New Balance 992 and J Tips by Saucony Jazz 9. Now, this wasn't a landslide, but it actually went to Undefeated 4. Awake came in second, and then Infinite Archives Air Jordan 17 came in third. Now, for this one, my selections were the Awake 5, the Joe Fresh Goods, and J Tips. So I didn't come close, but you know what? With all the stuff that was going on, they had to give Undefeated an award. They just had to, because a lot of people was pushing for Undefeated 4 to be like the sneaker of the year. So it's only right that they would give Undefeated 4 to win, but it wasn't a landslide. I thought Awake should have got that one because that Awake, for this category, for collaboration, for this category. So shout out to Undefeated for the win. Next category, Sneaker of the Year endorsement collaboration. So with those that I said, those collaborations were more or less like just stores and, but I guess now these are going into a whole nother level of type of collaboration. You see what I mean by, like, okay, you got Adidas. So these are more like artists, athletes who the shoe is named after, and that's what the whole collaboration is. So it's it's a collaboration with an endorsement by somebody who is more famous via music, and you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, they got the Nigel Air Jordan 4. Nigel is an athlete, a pro athlete with the BMX biking. You got Pharrell with his endorsement for the Jellyfish. You got Lil Yachty with the Nike Air Force One. You got Bad Bunny with Adidas. You got Travis Scott with his Fragment. And then you got West Side Gun with Saucony. So you see it's pretty much like 5 music artists and 1 BMXer, you know what I'm saying? Like a athlete. Not really a landslide, but it was what I thought what was going to happen. Let me just see. Yeah, I had picked I picked Brick by Brick. I picked the Jellyfish, and I picked West Side Gun. The order went Nigel came in first, Pharrell with the Jellyfish was second, Lil Yachty with the Nike Air Force One third, Bad Bunny was fourth, Trav was fifth, and they put West Side Gun at the end. The Nigel won this category by like 51 points. 51 points. All right, next category. Sneaker of the Year, Best Commercial Ad. I already know what I picked, so we can just go to it. The choices were, you had the Nike Rings and Things. You had Travis Scott, Jordan, Welcome to the Factory. That was with Rodman. You had the Asia Wilson Nike One of a Kind. You had the Jordan Brand Unbannable. And then you had the Anthony Edwards with Ice-T Adidas Man Down. Not by a landslide, but Anthony Edwards won this one. He beat the Jordan out by 12 points. That's the one I picked. I picked the Unbannable. And then you had Asia Wilson came in third with 166. So it was a tight race between Anthony Edwards, Jordan, and Asia Wilson. Jordan only beat Asia Wilson by 4. And, you know, Anthony Edwards beat Jordan by 12 and then beat Adidas, beat Jordan by 12 and then beat Asia by 16. So it was a tight race between them 3. But like I said, I picked Unbannable, but they gave it to Adidas and AE. So congrats to them. All right, we got 6 left. So far, Asia got 2, Pharrell got 1, Shay got 1, John Geiger got his 1, Anthony Edwards won 1, Undefeated won 1, and then we got Nigel got 1. 6 left. Next one is Sneaker of the Year Collaborator. So what makes this different is it's not an endorsement collab, and it's not even, let me see, I'm going to make sure I get this right. Because you had collaboration, which could have been anything. Then they had a bigger one, which was endorsement collab. So that was more like artists and athletes. This one is collaborator. So they're just talking about a person in general. So it could be an artist, it could be a store owner, it could be small-time designer, etc. The contestants for this award, you got Nigel Sylvester, you got Joe Fresh Goods, Jay Tips, you got Pharrell, Bad Bunny, and you got Ronnie Faig. I already know who I picked. I picked 4. I picked Pharrell, J Tips, Joe Fresh Goods, and Nigel Sylvester, and they gave it to Nigel Sylvester. Joe Fresh Goods came in second, J Tips came in third, Pharrell came in fourth, Bad Bunny fifth, and Ronnie Faig last. All right, so that's Nigel's second one out of 9. So far, we got Nigel with 2, Asia got 2, Undefeated got 1, AE got 1, John Geiger got 1, Pharrell got 1, and Converse and Shay got 1. We got 5 left. Okay, Sneaker of the Year selection for Best Collection. Now, I already know who I picked. You had to choose between Converse and the Shea Family Pack. You had Bad Bunny Gazelle City Series. You had the Levi's Nike Air Max. You had the Reebok by PlayStation. You had Kith by Asics by Marvel vs. Capcom. And then you had J-Tips Saucony Triumph 4-pack. And the winner was J Tips, which is what I picked. It was hands down for me. I mean, this brother been doing it since, I was saying like 2023, 2024, 2025. Great years for sneakers. And J Tips to me didn't get a lot of love. And I just feel like he got to get some love. Like this award, he definitely had the best collection. It was so colorful, well put together. And Shea came in second. It wasn't a landslide. He beat out Shea by 31 points. So congrats to them. All right. So J Tips won his first one. Remember the two leaders. We got Sylvester with 2. Nigel got 2. And we got Asia with 2. So they're leading in their respective categories. 4 left. We got Sneaker of the Year storytelling. I know who I picked. The selections were UGO Nike Air Max 95. You had the Nike SB Dunk Low Tourmaline, which was a cowboy dunk. You had Joe Fresh Goods New Balance. You had Infinite Archives Air Jordan 17. You had the Adidas Rival Low, and then you had the Nigel Sylvester Air Jordan 4. Winner for the storytelling went to Nigel Sylvester. Now, I had picked the SB Cowboy Dunk, and I picked Nigel. But Nigel, he kind of won it with a landslide over Bad Bunny, who came in second by 62 points. So, shout out to Nigel. He just won his 3rd award. We have 3 left. Sneaker of the Year licensing collab. So this one, what makes it different from the other 3, remember, one was just a collaboration. One was a endorsement collab, so that was like celebrity/athlete. The other one was best collaborator, so it could have been anybody on any level. This one is a licensing collab, so this is more like a big-time brand or someone who is recognized, in the retail space that collabed with a sneaker. The selections were PlayStation by Reebok, Levi with 95s. You had the UGO, which I believe is a cartoon, Nike Air Max 95. You had the Kith A6 Marvel vs. Capcom, and you had Stranger Things by Nike/Converse. The winner was UGO Nike Air Max 95s. And second place was Levi. I picked the Levi. Let me remember. Yeah, I picked Levi and Kith, but they gave it to UGO Nike Air Max 95. Congratulations to them. We got 2 left. Sneaker of the Year model. Now, this is just basically like what models that were released last year had the biggest effect. Now, at first, I had picked Air Jordan 5 and the 95. But then when I understood a little bit better, I was like, yo, I'm tripping. Because remember, they released the Metallic, they released the Tokyo, and they had the Awake. But then I'm thinking like, wait a minute. Nah, it go to the Jordan 4 because, of course, you had the Undefeated 4. You had the Nigel Sylvester 4. And those really the two of the big, top 5 releases of the year. But the other selections was the Vans Old School. You had the Saucony. You had the Air Jordan 5. You had the Air Max 95. And you had the Air Jordan 4. And, of course, it wasn't even close. It went to the Air Jordan 4 and the 95. So I actually picked them two to come first and second, and they did. And the Metallic and the 5 came third. So, yeah, this year was a big year for 4s and 95s. There really wasn't no 3s that got released this year. And the last category, so technically that's another win for Nigel and Jordan and them. Sneaker of the Year release. The 6 selections were the Jellyfish, Undefeated 4, the Awake 5. You had the Joe Fresh Goods New Balance 992. You had the Piggy Adidas ID Star Cushion 3, unheard of. And you had the Nigel Sylvester Air Jordan 4. And again, it wasn't even close. It went to Nigel Sylvester at 186. And then you had the undefeated come in second at a 114. Jellyfish came in third. I picked Sylvester and the Jellyfish. So Sylvester and his team racked up. They had 4, including, if you want to count the best sneaker model, which was the Air Jordan 4. You had Asia Wilson that wrapped up with her 2, so that was 6. Shay, Pharrell, John Geiger, undefeated. AE in his commercial, J Tips, and the Asian licensing collab with the 95. So those are the results for the for the Nice Kicks. I actually didn't do that bad. I picked best sneakers to release was the Bricks and Jellyfish. Best women's release was Asia. New sneaker was Jellyfish. I got that. I got the best sneaker model, which was the 4s. Best women's model, I got that with Asia. I did not get the best basketball shoe because I picked AE2 and they went with Shay. The best collab went to Undefeated 4. I picked Awake. Best endorsement collab went to Nigel. The best licensing collab went to the Asian brand. Best collaborator went to Bricks. Best storyline went to Bricks. Best commercial ad went to AE2. And best independent went to John Geiger. And best collection went to J Tip. So shout out to them. Let's make it a hell of a year for 2026. Peace.